Peace. This is Ethereal TV with your host Doc Blake, bringing to you the fourth episode of the last piece to the puzzle. It is Sunday, April 26th, and let's get into the price action early. And before I do that, I want to let y'all know my message to the world, to the people, is that gold and silver cryptos equals freedom. Silver, gold, cryptos equals freedom. All right. Why? I'll get into later on more episodes, but for basics right now, because in this monetary world that we live in, it is actual hard assets that you're able to have in your possession. But like I said, we'll get into that later. The current price of gold is at $1,738.77. The price of silver is at $15.37. And I put a new one on there, Litecoin. As you see, I got my Litecoin hat. I also have my Bitcoin shirt on right now today, which I got from the Doge Lord. Haha. Yeah, but the price of Bitcoin is at $7,578.77. So there's your prices, and I also wanted to put up a little thing for my cousin's book. Uh, it's called Check This Out. You can get it at www.ethereal.com. Definitely go support that. For early news today, I had read an article on Yahoo Finance about the BSN blockchain based service network. The article starts out basically, the headline was China's national blockchain will change the world. Then it goes farther, starts the article basically as this week, China will officially launch a major new blockchain initiative called the Blockchain Based Service Network. The BSN is a critical part of China's national blockchain strategy that was announced by President Xi in late November 2019, but went largely under the radar as the simultaneous announcement of China's digital RMB currency called the DCEP swept the world by storm. Only recently has the Western media recognized the significance of the VSN, which sees its mainland commercial launch April 25th. The portal's global commercial launch is scheduled for June 25th. And man, I really think that is mega news. I'll explain later on this next little piece to the puzzle that they're talking about in this article. Let me see. Uh, It says, let's see, the BSN can facilitate increased global trade and bilateral economic activity to buffer against systemic shocks and great rifts that have been exacerbated by mistrust and differences in ideology. It can connect the world more synergistically together while democratizing access to the critical tools that will allow more efficient cross border trade, investment, and international collaboration. So, they're basically trying to put together a network that can be used all over the world. Sounds like almost like a new digital currency, but to even further go into that, and this is what's really crazy to me in this article. It says, let me see. Oh, here it is. Sorry, people. It says launch will already be interoperable with major platforms such as frameworks such as Hyperledger, Fabric, Ethereum, EOS, as well as most relevant mainland-based blockchain protocols for enterprise, including WeBanks, Fisco, BCOS, the financial blockchain, Shenzhen Consortium, with members such as WeBank, Tencent, Huawei, and ZTE, and Baidu's Superchain. Wow. So as you see, the BSN has really their eyes set on the target as being one of the major players in the cryptocurrency world, which is just really mind blowing. They're able to pull this off. Is that possibly the new currency, the new world global currency? China has the technology and everything in play to already kind of pull this off. Now, who knows the damage that has been done to the Chinese economy from the coronavirus? But as we can see, all that aside, one of their top priorities is to launch this BSN, this blockchain based service network to the public. And, you know, it goes in, there's another part of this article that says, it says, in a similar vein, anyone can now become a node and or deploy a DApp on the BSN network and share data or conduct business in a completely trusted way. So that means that anybody can own a node on this network. I think that would be a really good idea for everybody right now. I mean, even if you don't, support blah blah blah. I mean, but if you're, trying to look for more avenues to become, more monetarily sound, this could be a good way. I mean, to launch a node on the BSN network, sounds like a good idea to me. China has a lot of people, and I mean, I know this COVID and Corona stuff is going on, but why not always be looking for a new opportunity for you and your own family in this whole crazy network of things? You can pause it if you want and read the rest of this part. I'm not going to read that because I'm going to go into my next topic of the video, which is basically what I touched on yesterday, which is the artificial intelligence and the 2030 agenda. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that about the self-driving, breathalyzing, sanitizing vehicle that I think potentially could be tied to this BSN, this blockchain network. Not only the BSN, but other blockchains such as maybe Libra coin, Facebook's coin, all the major players. Apple will probably have their currency, and these vehicles are going to be able to advertise all their things while also being like a main central place for the information of people to be utilized, number one, because what's if all these companies are into absorbing all the information, you know what I'm saying, like Facebook's been gathering all this information, app, all these companies, all this information, they want to be able to utilize it. So these self-driving cars that will potentially have a breathalyzer on them so they can test everybody's health before they get in the vehicle. It sanitizes you and then it drops you off, will potentially be tied to all these major networks that have been gathering all this information for the launch of this very, very high level artificial intelligence. And we're already seeing slight signs of slight levels of artificial intelligence with a lot of these companies, as IBM, they have Watson, and you see other companies that have these technologies, artificial intelligence being launched. Is it possible that all these companies could be using this all this gathered information to operate a new based economic based off of these self-driving vehicles? I have another theory about why they wanted to clear the grid or lock down the planet, which was basically so the satellites get clear signals for the artificial intelligence of the vehicles that would need to move around and operate on the grid. So the way satellites work, it's harder for a satellite to get its signal with all this traffic and everything going on the grid. So if you clear the grid, the cars that are driving that are getting the data and the satellite signals that are being projected to them get a lot clearer signals. So I always thought that the agenda was to, number one, get people off the roads, and there's several reasons why they can push that agenda. Number one, they're going to be like, oh, humans have a high accident rate, our cars are better. But now they have a whole new one, which is, how do we know that people's cars are sanitary? How do we know that the person coming into the business does not carry the coronavirus or the COVID, and is going to transmit it to other people? Well, if you take away the whole vehicle, the car, replace it with a self-driving, testing or breathalyzing, as well as sanitizing vehicle, that kind of solves the problem of the COVID in the businesses. And of course, everybody in the businesses would be tested, but that's part of the whole agenda, potentially, of the mega corporations, of actually being able to utilize this information that they've been absorbing from the people while tying it to blockchain. And I feel like they know that the whole currency game is gone. Like Bitcoin has destroyed any form of government control over monetary. I mean, I've thought that for a long time now. I've thought that for a very long time. So now that they have to adjust the game, and the adjust the game is to be ahead of the technologies, which is something that I heard that Cliff Hyde talked about. And it's something that I've thought, this artificial intelligence, but I think it's going to be rolled out a lot faster because the artificial intelligence is coming along a lot faster. I mean, they have hidden factories where they're manufacturing these parts and things like that all around the world for this level of artificial intelligence that is projected from other resources that I've heard to be started to roll out by 2030. And I think they're just clearing the grid right now, wiping out as many people and cars and all that to get a clear slate for these for the data system, so it can get a very good calculation of the Earth's grid from the satellites that are projecting the signals. You understand? So that's all I'm gonna give y'all for today. Once again, this is your host Doc Blake with Ethereal TV. You can check us out at www.ethereal.com. I'll holler at y'all next time.